Hello everyone, I'm Avantika Kansal and you're watching New India Junction. In today's video, we are basically going to talk about Periodic Labour Force Survey PLFS annual report. So this report has been released in October 2023 and it covers findings from July 2022 till June 2023. Also, a sample size of approx 4 lakh has been taken for the same. So this report basically talks about the trend in labor force participation rate and worker population ratio, and also it talks about decrease in the unemployment rate. So let's start with this report. So first of all, let us talk about labor force participation rate. Now, what is labor force participation rate? Well, basically it is the number of people working or seeking or available for work at that point in time. So now, if we look at the participation rate of labor force in the rural areas, now here the comparison has been drawn between 2017-18 to 2023. So if we see here, in rural areas, it was 50.7%, which has a steep climb of 10.1%, now taking it to 60.8%. Similarly, when we talk about the urban areas, there is an increase from 47.6% to 50.4%. Also, if we talk about the increase amongst male when it comes to rate of labor force, it was 75.8%, which has been increased to 78.5%, almost 3% increase here. And if we talk about females, there's a steep climb here from 23.3% to 37%. Now let's talk about the worker population ratio. Now again, what is worker population ratio? So this is the percentage of employed person in the population. So here if we talk about rural areas, in 2017-18 it was at 48.1%, which has seen a steep climb, now 59.4% as on 2023. Also, if we see urban areas, it was 43.9%, now it is at 47.7%. If we talk about males, it was 71.2%, now it is at 76%. And now when we look at females graph of worker population ratio, from 22% in 2017-18 to 35.9% in 2023, again a steep jump of 13.9%. Now let's talk about the unemployment rate. So unemployment rate is basically unemployed people among the labor force. So if we talk about 2017-18 in the rural areas, it was 5.3%, which has seen a decline. Now it is at 2.4%. Also, if we see here in urban areas, in 2017-18, it was at 7.7%. It has a decline of 2.3%. Now it is at 5.4%. When we talk about males, unemployment rate amongst males from 6.1% to 3.3%. And if we talk about females, from 5.6% in 2017-18 to 2.9% in 2023, a decline of 2.7%. So now the data that you have seen so far clearly tells us that there is an increase where there is an increase due, and also a decline when it comes to unemployment. Not only that, but the data for women employment shows a steep rise, which is an extremely good marker of the progress. Now going ahead in this report, let's talk about the activity status, which is another important metric. So basically, what is activity status? Activity status of a person is determined on the basis of the activity pursued by that person during a specified period. Well, it could be annual or weekly. So let's have a look at the current weekly status. So when we talk about labor force participation rate in the rural areas, current weekly status in 2017-18, it was at 48.9%, which is now 56.7%. Also, if we talk about urban areas, current weekly status here from 47.1% to 49.4%. Then when we talk about males, in 2017-18, it was at 75.1%, which has seen a jump, and it is at 77.4%. Now, when we talk about females, it was at 21.1% in the year 2017 and 2017-18, which has seen a steep climb of 10.5%, now taking it to 31.6% as on 2023. Now, the same thing, current weekly status. Let's talk about worker population ratio. So, firstly, in rural India, it was 44.8% in 2017-18, saw a jump of 9.4%, which took it to 54.2%. Now, again in urban areas, from 43.9% to 47.7%. If we talk about males, 68.6% to 73.5%. And if we talk about females, current weekly status amongst them, from 19.2%, a jump of 10.8%, now at 30%. Now, this takes us to our last topic, which is unemployment rate, current weekly status amongst in the unemployment rate when it comes to rural India, from 8.4% in 2017-18 to 4.4% in 2023. Also, if we look at urban areas, from 9.5% in 2017-18 to 7% in 2023. When we talk about males, current weekly status, 8.7% in 2017-18 to 5.1% in 2023. And lastly, if we talk about females, current weekly status, from 9% in 2017-18 to 5.1%, decline of 3.9% in 2023. Well, the data we discussed right now shows a clear picture of how people participating has increased in the labor force. Percentage of people who are employed has also increased, substantial increase there, and also the percentage for unemployment has decreased. So, well, this data clearly shows a clear-cut growth in female ratio as well when it comes to female labor force participation, when it comes to the increase in their worker employment, and also a decline in the unemployment, leading basically, which tells us about how the country is progressing and how women-led development is actually taking place and how it is happening. So that is it for today's video. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe to New India Junction. This is Avantika Kansal signing off. Until next time.